In our last class, the fat man found an antique porcelain vase while strolling in Panjiayuan, a flea market in Beijing. On the screen, we see the full name of this market, Panjiayuan Zhouhuo Shichang. Panjiayuan, the first three characters, denote the district in the south of Beijing off the third ring road where the market is located. Zhouhuo, well, these characters separately mean old and products. The first character is Zhou, meaning old, and the next character means goods. So it can mean second-hand goods or antiques in this context. Then we have the character Shichang, meaning market. So as a whole, this can be translated as Panjiayuan Antiques Market or Panjiayuan Flea Market. In this market, there are lots of shops and stalls as well as independent traders with their goods laid out on the floor. They call this Ditan. Panjiayuan, which is only open at the weekend, is visited by people of all ages looking to pick up a bargain or find a precious antique to invest in. Be prepared to negotiate if you do visit.
就当胖子和地摊老板讨价还价的时候，又走过来一个男人，似乎他也看好了这个次品。
In this first part of the video, we have the narrator introducing a third man into the conversation. The narrator starts off with 就当, meaning as or at that time, and then he introduces Pangzi again. We remember Pangzi from the previous video, of course. And then we have 和, which means and then Ditan Laoban, meaning the stall holder. And then we have Tao Jia, which means Tao, discuss, and Jia, which means to negotiate on a price. So we could have here discussing a price. And then Dushaho, so time again. Zouguolai, which means came over. Yige Nanren, so a man. And then moving on, we have Sihu, which means it seems. Ta, meaning the third man. Ye, meaning and then Kanhao, looked closely.
"就当胖子和地摊老板讨价还价的时候，又走过来一个男人，似乎他也看好了这个次品。
As the fat man sat bargaining with the stallholder, another man came over. He also took a close look at the porcelain vase.
就当胖子和地摊老板讨价还价的时候，又走过来一个男人，似乎他也看好了这个次品。
多少钱？2万。开玩笑的吧？真了。
In the next part, the third participant in the conversation puts in a bit of his own for the vase. He says, 这个多少钱? And we can use this ourselves if we go to a shop or market. It's a good way of finding out the price of an object. So broken down, he says 这个, which means this. 多少 means how much. And then we have 钱, money. And the response is 2万. Liang means 2, and wan is 10,000. So in total, 20,000. And then and the response of the third participant is 开玩笑呢吧. 开玩笑 means joke, and the shopkeeper is not impressed with this, and he says 真的, meaning really.
多少钱？2万。开玩笑的吧？真了。
刚来的男人仔细地查看了一下次品，给地摊老板开出了2000块钱的价格。
Next, the narrator summarizes what's just happened. So there's some important vocabulary that we need to go through in order to understand what he's just said. So firstly, he introduces the man. He says, 刚来的男人, which of course means the man who just came over. And then another piece of vocabulary is 仔细的. So zisi means to carefully. It's an adverb. And then we have cha kan, which means to examine. And then, of course, he mentions si ping, which is the vase. And then moving on, we have ge, which means gave, to give. And then chu, which means to make an offer. Usually chu means to go outside, to leave. But in this case, it can also be used to make an offer. So we have 刚来的男人仔细地查看四瓶 meaning vase, gay, and true, which means to make an offer.
刚来的男人仔细地查看了一下瓷瓶，给地摊老板开出了2000块钱的价格。
This section can be translated as such. The man who had just arrived began to examine the vase carefully. He then made an offer of 2,000 yuan.
刚来的男人仔细地查看了一下瓷瓶，给地摊老板开出了2000块钱的价格。
成我就拿走，全当是给孩子买个玩具，不中。成我就拿走，全当是给孩子买个玩具，不中。
Let's listen again. Does the salesman accept the offer?
成我就拿走，全当是给孩子买个玩具，不中。
Zhong often means middle, so the name of China is Zhongguo, with Zhong meaning middle and Guo meaning country, so or kingdom, so middle kingdom. In this case, however, it means okay. So the salesman actually negates this by saying bu. So we have bu zhong, so no, not okay, or no deal. Having thought that he was about to pick up a bargain, the fat man grows a bit annoyed with the interruption of the third man. So he grabs the vase back, to which the third man responds, "What's up?" And then the fat man responds, "Well, what's up with you?" The fat man then goes on to put in another bid, this time for 3,000 yuan. The third man then raises this bid and he makes his bid of 4,000. So let's see how this plays out. And then after that, we will see the response of the salesman, who has now grown quite impatient. Here, the narrator explains that the boss has become quite impatient. So, boss in Chinese is Lao Ban, and then he says "you diar," which means a little bit. And then we have impatient. So, patient in Chinese is nai fan. So, impatient is nai fan, but he uses bu to explain that it's impatient. So, bu is used to negate. So, we have bu nai fan de. De shows us it's an adverb. So, bu nai fan de is impatiently. And so that precedes a verb. And the verb in this case is 夺过, which is to grab. So he impatiently grabbed. What did he grab? He grabbed the vase, which is 四瓶. And then he goes on to explain again that he's representing his brother. It's not his vase, it's his brother's vase. So represent in Chinese is 表示. And then he explains again that the brother has already set the price as 20,000 yuan. So 2万块钱, and he can't go any lower. 都不能少. And then we have repeat. So 再说了 means repeat. 这是我哥的东西. This is my brother's piece. And then we have 卖, which is to sell, but in this case it's 贱卖, which is to sell inexpensively. If he sells it inexpensively, how can he go back? 回除. There's no way. 没法, no way. that he can give him an explanation. 跟他解释. And then we have this last bit, which is 那你呀就一直在手里吧. So 那你呀就一直在手里吧. So the third man then explains, well, if that is the price, then no one will buy it.
老板有点不耐烦地夺过瓷瓶，表示2万块钱1分都不能少。再说了，这是我哥的东西，我贱卖了回去也没法跟他解释。
那你呀，就一直砸手里吧。
With the third man now gone, the fat man now continues to make his lowball offers. Let's see if he has any more success.
你看，人走了吧？我告诉你，我出3000不少了。要不我出4000。你这人怎么这么死心啊？
The fat man starts off by saying 你看看，meaning look. 人家走了吧 meaning he has gone home. The third man has gone home. And then he continues, 告诉我告诉你. And then we have 要不, which is a conditional. So, what if, true, what if I offer you? And then when the offer is rebuffed, he says, 你这人怎么死心眼儿呢? So this means, how can you be so short-sighted?
哎，把这个包起来。
Right at the start of this section, the third man comes back and he grabs the attention of the fat man by saying, "Eh?" Here, this means hey, and is used by the returning third man to grab the attention of the fat man who's holding the vase. So he begins his sentence with ba. Ba, in this case, is a grammatical term, and it's used to focus the attention on the object, in this case, the vase. So an example of the way ba might be used is 把书轻轻地放下. So here we have 把, the grammatical term, 书, which means book, 轻轻, which means gently, and then 放下, put down. So 把书轻轻地放下. So that means please put the book down gently. Next we have 这个, which means the vase. So 把这个, meaning towards the vase, 包. So 包 is a verb meaning to take care of something. And then 起来 is used to denote initiation of an action. So in this case, it means to start taking care of that vase, look after it. So an example of 起来 is 站起来, which means stand up. Another example might be 和你的家人玩起来吧. So that means with your family, play the game together.
哎，把这个包起来，2万是吧？
好，是2万。